Welcome back to my channel. Making this video today is December 19th, 2022, and I just completed my military entry processing, MEPS as it's called. You can obviously tell from the title of the video. I just kind of wanted to make this video not only to document, but also to kind of share my experience, what you can expect, some tips, and I'm going to try and keep this video at about 5 minutes so it's easily digestible. So I attended MEPS in Oklahoma City at the federal building, kind of a historic building for those of you who are familiar with Timothy McVeigh. He was a terrorist who attacked Oklahoma City in I think 1993, but he attacked the federal building. So the MEPS that I attended is right across the street from the memorial. So kind of just like a very symbolic, remembrance of why, we're doing this, why I'm doing this, to serve your country, because there are terrorists, both domestic and foreign. And so MEPS is the process by which everyone has to, kind of join the military. You go there. It's a very thorough investigation into your mental health, your physical health, and both your character. I'm 30 years, or I'm 29 years old. I'm almost 30 years old, and so I am trying to go in as an officer in the Marines. I'm trying to go JAG Corps, so law track, and I was very nervous going to MEPS just because at 30 years old, you've been bumped, you've been bruised, you have a pretty thorough medical history by age 30, most of us, and so you're not this nice physical specimen that I was at age 19. Sort of no broken bones, no dislocated shoulders or anything like that. So I was nervous, but I can say this to start. I, I got the sense that because the military is an all volunteer force, people are trying to get you through, right? Like they don't want to disqualify you. They're not looking for reasons to try to get you disqualified. They want you to go through. So I think the first piece of advice is do not be stressed. The second piece of advice is make sure you go to bed early. MEP starts early in the morning. For me, it was at 5:45 a.m. You had to be there at 45. Another piece of advice is be extremely respectful, right? So get a good night's sleep, get there and be extremely respectful. You're going to be interacting with a lot of personnel, both military and non-military, but you just need to be yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Listen to instructions, right? You could tell there was a lot of people there who just like they couldn't listen, and very simple instructions, right? And people are going to be stern. Some of them will be stern. I won't get into too much detail, but at one point, lady asked me, like, "Well, what's your eye color?" And I said, "Black." She had hair and eye color, and she was like, "Well, black's not an eye color unless I punch you in the face, right?" So it's just like, just kind of one of those environments, right? So just get used to, don't take it personal. Um, these people do this day in, day out. It's a process, and so they will be stern, but you need to be respectful. You need to be listening, right? You're going to go through security. When you first get there, at least is how it was for me. First thing you did was a hearing test. Second thing you did was an eye test. After that, you go and sit in kind of this room. You get briefed by the master sergeant. He kind of briefs you on what is MEPS, what you can expect for the rest of the day. Um, I would say this: make sure that you are wearing a collared shirt. Make sure you are wearing pants, and also make sure you are bringing a jacket. Do not wear a hoodie. Hoodies are not allowed, but you can bring a jacket. And I suggest you bring a jacket because it was very cold. Um, So after you go through this briefing, during this time, at least for us, we also got our blood pressure taken. We had to do a breathalyzer. Um, so you'll do that, and then the next thing was kind of height and weight. Depending on which branch you're going into, you have a certain height and weight standard. Most people fit within the height and weight standard. I did meet one guy who did not fit within the height and weight standard, and so what they do is they check your body mass percent, whatever. And he was only 10% body fat. So just a really strong guy, right? He was too much weight for his height, but obviously muscle weighs more than fat. So if you're just someone who doesn't have a very low body fat percent and you are too big, you will be disqualified from MEPS. You'll have to go lose weight and then come back. So after you do your height and weight. Next for us was our blood drawing. You will get your blood drawn. You will provide a urine sample. For me, it was very strange just because it was like five dudes lined up in a line, very far away from the stall, pissing in a cup. Not something I've ever had to do before, but you get very comfortable with the staff. You'll have to get very comfortable with the staff because after you provide your blood and urine sample, the next thing you'll do is you'll meet with the doctor. And this is what I was most nervous for. Like I said, I'm 30. I have a medical history at this point. But I got the sense that like they want to make sure that obviously you don't have anything that's going to keep you from being able to do your job, but they're not trying to like super nail down on you and make this very difficult for you. They're going to ask you some very brief questions. I was actually shocked because I don't know what database he was like looking from or whatever, but the doctor had already like he had access to my medical records. You sign that before you get there. Like, yes, I give the military permission to get my medical records or whatever. And he started asking me about, and he was like, "Oh, you went to Princeton." And I was like, yeah, well, I got expelled from Princeton, but yes, I did go there for 3.5 years." And he was like, "You dislocated your shoulder." And I had completely forgotten about this, right? But this was something that happened when I was, I think, a freshman in college. And, I was just like kind of taken back. And I was like, "Oh, wait, yeah, I did dislocate my shoulder." This is I think the point here is that you need to be extremely transparent, right? Make sure that you're being honest with everything because they're going to find out, right? This was something I had forgotten about. I wasn't trying to hide it necessarily. um, and so I won't get into all of my medical history, but that's just a lesson there. You will have to get fully naked at one point. They're going to, want to see every part of you, make sure that everything's working, make sure you don't have any hernias, everything looks and is operating the way it's supposed to. And then you will perform a series of exercises. I guess it's like exoskeletal exercises, kind of make sure everything's working. This is the infamous duck walk. You can kind of Google this or YouTube this and find out what the duck walk is, but make sure that you've like researched these exercises. They're not hard, guys. For me, it was kind of a one-on-one experience. Actually, it was me with my doctor, and then we were in a room, and then we went into a different room to do the exercises. When we got into that room, there was another guy and the doctor doing the same exercises, but it wasn't as intimidating as it seems. Like I said, I think that they are not trying to get you disqualified, but they just need to make sure that everything's in working condition. You jump on one leg, you do some rocks, they'll push down. He did some testing of my arm to make sure that everything was strong and tight, and of course it is. And so, yeah, I hope that this was helpful. Make sure you get a good night's rest. I think I've already said that. Drink plenty of water because, obviously you want to be fully hydrated so you can provide that urine sample. But just kind of wanted to document this and answer any questions you guys have. Again, this is the end of 2022. I will not post this for a very long time because I kind of want to make sure that I make it all the way through the process before I start talking about this very publicly. But very excited about this part of my journey and my career, sharing this with you guys. And so hopefully this was informational, and I'll answer any questions you guys have in the comments below. Like, subscribe, keep up, follow. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Peace.